Abraham Lincoln stands as a giant in American history. His life is a powerful story of rising from poverty to lead a nation through its darkest days. Born in a simple log cabin, Lincoln started as a boy, selling newspapers to help his family survive. Through hard work, self-learning, and a deep sense of right and wrong, he became the 16th President of the United States. Known as the Great Emancipator, Lincoln's journey shows how grit and kindness can shape a person and a country. This story follows his path from the rough frontier to the White House, exploring the challenges, dreams, and choices that made him a hero. Step into the world of old America, where a boy with big ideas grew into a leader who changed history forever.
On February 12, 1809, Abraham Lincoln was born in a tiny log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, were poor farmers living in a wild land of forests and streams. Life was tough with endless work to clear trees, plant crops, and build shelters. Young Abraham, called Abe, helped from an early age. He chopped wood, carried water, and learned to survive in a place where every day was a struggle. When Abe was 9, his mother Nancy died of illness. Her loss hit him hard, leaving him quiet and thoughtful. He loved her stories and gentle ways, which sparked his love for learning. His father remarried Sarah Bush Johnston, a kind woman who became a new light in Abe's life. Sarah saw his curious mind and encouraged him to read. Books were rare, but Abe treasured them. He read the Bible, Aesop's fables, and adventure tales like Robinson Crusoe by the dim glow of a fire. At 10, Abe started selling newspapers in nearby towns to earn money for his family. He walked long dirt paths in patched clothes, carrying heavy bundles of papers. The work was hard with cold mornings and tired feet, but it taught him how to talk to strangers. He listened to their stories and learned to share his own. People liked his friendly ways and quick wit. These moments, selling papers, built skills that would later help him connect with the nation. Abe's early years were full of small jobs. He helped neighbors clear fields or fix fences. Each task showed him the value of hard work and honesty. Even as a boy, he stood out tall and lanky, with a serious face that broke into a warm smile when he told a funny tale. His love for stories and words grew stronger, shaping the man he would become. Abe's hunger for knowledge was unstoppable. School was rare in the frontier, and he went to blab schools for less than a year. In these schools, kids recited lessons out loud with little structure. But Abe didn't need a teacher. He taught himself to read and write using whatever he could find. When paper was gone, he scratched words on wooden boards with charcoal. At night, he lay by the fire reading or practicing math, his long legs stretched out. As a teenager, Abe became known in his town for his humor and smarts. Neighbors would gather at a store or tavern to hear Abe spin tales or argue ideas with a clear, sharp mind. At 22, Abe moved to New Salem, Illinois, seeking a new start. He worked as a store clerk and kept studying. He borrowed books from anyone who had them reading about grammar, logic, and law. His hard work paid off. When he became a surveyor, mapping land with careful measurements, people trusted him because he was fair. If he made a mistake, like giving wrong change at the store, he walked miles to fix it. This earned him the nickname Honest Abe, a name that stuck for life. Abe's time in New Salem was a turning point. He joined local debates and spoke at town meetings. His words were simple but powerful, making people listen and think. He began to dream of a bigger life, one where he could make a difference. By his mid-20s, Abe set his sights on becoming a lawyer. He studied law books with focus, passing the bar exam in 1836. He moved to Springfield, Illinois to start his career. As a lawyer, he traveled to small courthouses arguing cases for farmers and shopkeepers. His tall, thin frame and worn suit became a familiar sight. He spoke with clear logic and a touch of humor, winning over judges and juries. Abe's talent for speaking grew stronger. He gave talks at town events, his voice calm but strong. His speeches mixed stories with big ideas, making hard topics easy to grasp. He joined politics, serving in the Illinois state legislature. There he spoke out against slavery, but carefully since many in Illinois disagreed. His ideas about fairness and freedom started to take shape. In 1846, Abe was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. He moved to Washington, D.C. for one term. The city showed him the nation's big problems like the fight over slavery. He spoke against laws that spread slavery, but his ideas were not always popular. After his term, he returned to Springfield to focus on law. He thought his political days might be over, but the country's troubles would soon call him back. Abe's life in Springfield wasn't all work. He married Mary Todd in 1842, and they had 4 sons. Abe loved his family deeply and often told stories to his boys. These personal moments kept him grounded as his world grew bigger. In 1858, he ran for Senate against Stephen Douglas, a skilled speaker. Their debates across Illinois drew huge crowds. Abe spoke clearly about why slavery was wrong and why the nation must stay united. Though he lost the election, his words made him known across the country. The debates showed Abe's strength. He wasn't flashy, but his honesty and logic won hearts. He used simple stories to explain big ideas, like when he said a house divided against itself cannot stand. In 1860, the Republican Party chose Abe as their candidate for president. Many thought a frontier lawyer couldn't win, but Abe's message was clear: keep the Union together and stop slavery's growth. On November 6, 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president. Some called him a backwoods nobody with no right to lead. Others saw a man who knew their struggles. His win came at a cost. Southern states feared he would end slavery and began to talk of leaving the Union. Abe's election set the stage for the biggest challenge of his life. Lincoln became president in March 1861 as the nation broke apart. Leading a divided country was hard. Abe had no military training, but he studied war books and met with generals. His goal was to save the Union no matter what. The war brought endless problems. Battles were bloody, and both sides suffered. In 1862, he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing enslaved people in Confederate states. It took effect in 1863, changing the war into a fight for freedom. The proclamation gave hope to millions and brought new support to the Union. It also made Abe a target for those who wanted slavery to stay. Abe worked hard to keep the nation's spirit strong. He visited soldiers in camps and hospitals, sharing words of thanks. He wrote letters to families who lost loved ones, showing his kind heart. In 1863, he gave the Gettysburg Address at a battlefield ceremony. In just a few minutes, he spoke of a nation built on equality and freedom. His words were short, but their power lasted. Abe faced personal struggles, too. His wife, Mary, dealt with sadness, and their son, Willie, died in 1862. Abe carried his grief quietly, but kept working. He believed the war was a test of whether the nation could survive. His steady hand guided the Union through its worst days. Abraham Lincoln's life began in a cabin with nothing but dreams. From selling newspapers to leading a nation, he showed what hard work and honesty can do. He wasn't perfect, but his heart was true. He believed in a country where everyone could be free and equal. His words, like those in the Gettysburg Address, still guide us today.